Don't turn loose of your vision. It's not over yet, my friend. What God is planning for you. For the seeds in your hand decide the harvest God will plan for you and me. Remember today, my friend, and don't give up your dream. Don't let go of the vision that you know God has given to you. For every single promise God has ever made, you will find so true. And though the fire and the waters may come, they will not hinder you. Remember today, my friend, and don't give up your dream. My Christina loves that song. Me and Oral Roberts wrote it. He called me and said, I want you to write a song. Don't give up your dream. Don't turn loose of your vision. It's not over yet. He gave me those 3 sentences. I was in a little motel room without a piano. I wrote that song. Don't give up your dream. Joseph had a dream from God, and it's probably my favorite person in the Bible is Joseph. He focused on his dream and believed it. He believed his dream above his bad experiences. His brothers tried to sell him for $12.80. In fact, they did sell him to a passing caravan of Ishmaelites. They did sell him into slavery. Of all the bad things that's happened to you, that's probably never happened to you. Your family did not sell you to evil people as a slave. Of all the things your family's done, of all the humiliation that you may have gone through, none of us have ever experienced what Joseph experienced. Let's look at this for a moment that I want to take you, because you must focus on something that inspires you, not something that disappointed you. It's hard for me to do. By nature, I'm a problem solver, so when I see something wrong, I want to put my finger in the face. I want to get it. I have a passion for excellence, and when something's not right, I react. The negative part of that is, as you go downhill, your depression multiplies. One of the greatest wisdom keys I ever had, and by the way, I've got this book in my hand today, book 321. It is a book of books. 196 wisdom keys on 196 different topics. Let's talk about this for a moment. This is my celebration of any seed that God stirs you to sow today to our ministry. Let's look at the story of Joseph briefly. His father loved him. Every parent has a favorite, and every parent lies about it, that they don't have favorites. My daddy's favorite was my oldest sister, Barbara. My mother's favorite was my baby brother, David. My daddy liked the first one born. a mother like the last one born. I begged her for a horse. I cried, Mama, please let me own a horse. She never would. My brother, she bought him too. Favoritism is easily discerned. It's easily discerned. Somebody walks in a room, you know which one they like. But Solomon, back to Joseph. Joseph's father, Jacob, cherished Joseph. He felt something different with him. He felt something unique with him. He made him a coat of many colors to show distinction that he was the favorite. Jacob wanted everybody to know Joseph was his favorite. God gave Joseph two dreams. In the dream, he saw his brothers bowing down to him, and he was on the throne, so to speak. He was the authority. And he believed that dream was from God. The Bible says Joseph remembered his dream. He kept remembering his dream. And he believed the picture. At some point in your life, God gives you a picture. Australia's here, Canada's here, Indonesia's here. Johnny, Tremaine Thomas, I'm so glad you're here. Lewis, Pastor Ken, Jacques, love you, son. Jacques Myberg, he knows how to love. He knows how to love. We're so glad you're back in the States, son. Anxious to see you. Carolyn says, I'm thrilled that you're teaching today. I almost didn't make it. But Maribel just pushed me a little bit, and I won't give you the situations here, but I didn't know if I could be able to teach or not. But I'm so glad. Brother David from Australia. Indonesia, my encourager, I love when you call me that. More than you could know. Tremaine Thompson, Nashville, Tennessee, sending great honor, respect, and adoration for your life's work. Tremaine, that means the world to me, more than you know. More than you know. Let me continue here, if I can. I was hoping Mayor Harold Moore would be here. Oh, I had the joy of meeting him. You'll never forget this man if you ever met him, family. He pastors a great work in Georgia, and he also is a third-term mayor. Last night I went into pieces because I didn't ask him questions I wanted to ask him. And Mayor Moore, I want to apologize. There's so much I wanted to learn from you, and it hit me last night. Why? My mind was just so focused. Dr. Mike, you're an extraordinary gift from God. The presence of God flows freely through you. Mayor Harold Moore, write that name down, family. You'll want to remember him. When I walked in yesterday and saw him and another close friend of mine, when I saw him, so many pictures from the Holy Spirit came to me. He's a man with gentleness, strength. You don't normally see those together. He's a man, when you looked in his face, you didn't feel danger. Kindness flowed out of him like a river. Harold Moore, M-O-O-R-E. And the Lord showed me so much about him. For some reason, I didn't expect what I saw, for some reason. To be a mayor of a city, you have to have boxes, stacks, and universes of strength in you. You can't be a mayor with so many controversial people, people that feel opposite. You can't coordinate a city for years and not have strength. I did not know the love nature I saw yesterday. Brother Harold, it's stayed in me. I got lots of thoughts. And I'm anxious to sow my $10,000 seed to your new church. Janet Holton, Favor Friday. David, bless you, John. Oh, I love that. Indonesia just wrote these words to me. Official Beaver, 5045 TV. By the way, I want they're in Indonesia. I'd like to have your shipping address if I could. You've encouraged me too much not to send you some gift books I have for you. Thank you for being the best teacher ever. I'm grateful to have you as my guide. Felicia, I need those words. I love that. Georgia Thomas, I am so glad you're here. I think about you every single day. We celebrate you, sir. I treasure that. Stay with me a few minutes if you can today. I could tell you some things that's happening and you'd be stunned already today, and I have been stunned by some things, and it set me back, but I'm here. Stay with me for a little while if you can. I was not able to be here yesterday. What's big in my mind is the difference in people. And some people have been wounded from childhood dishonor. Many people have been wounded from childhood disrespect. Many people were completely ignored by their father, by their mother. There's people whose mother was on drugs. They've managed to survive all that. Not every mother and father were expressive. Not every mother and father is protective. Not every mother and father have good memories of childhood. I asked my father one day, who's as good a man that ever walked, pure with God. I said, Daddy, did Grandpa ever buy you a birthday gift? He says, no, I don't think so. I said, did he ever buy you a Christmas gift? He said, an apple and an orange. Grandpa, Papa, he called him Papa. Said, Papa gave me an apple and an orange every Christmas. An apple and an orange for Christmas? But my daddy had not one bad thing to ever say about his father. Not one thing. His father beat him hard with the tree limb when he was 6 years old. I've told the story before. I said, Daddy, did Grandpa ever tell you he loved you? He says, no, but we knew he did. He would always say that, and I would ask him again all through the years at home. Daddy, did Grandpa ever tell you he loved you? No, but we knew he did. We knew he did. The memories of home really affect the person you are. My number one memory of my father was him praying with his hands up. When he was 99, the night before he died, he had his hands up for about 40, 45 minutes. I timed him. My daddy could hold his hands up in prayer for 1 hour. But he couldn't take any kind of a war. He couldn't handle battle at any level. He didn't want any of us 7 children ever to talk at the table. Responsibilities blind you to inspiration. Responsibilities, so many things piled on you to do. My 81-year-old brother is a very, very smart person. He's not a conversationalist at all, but he's very smart. And he succeeded very highly in business. He's 81. He's going through the trial of his life. We talk 2 or 3 times a day. I call him every day. And all he says to me is, "You're so important to me, brother. You're so important to me. Brother, I'm so thankful for you. Brother, you're really making a difference in my life." He just says the same 3 or 4 sentences all the time. Last night, he called late again. I'd already talked to him, but he called. And I could sense he's not real expressive like I am. He's kind, but he's not a conversationalist. So I carry the conversation. He began to tell me some of what he was going through. It was a mental battle, as well as he's going blind in his eyes. He's had pain nonstop for 14 years in his feet. He's a master at saving money like I love giving. He's a master at saving, and I laugh about that. When you get older, I'm 77. I don't know if everybody goes through this, but I'm going through it. I'm having a need to be valued. I'm having a need for some spoken admiration. It's odd. Never remember being in this place before, but I want someone to value what I've done with my life. So childish. It's crazy, but it's there. And so I open that up to him, and he's experiencing the same thing. He's provided houses for all of his children, and he would like to be valued for that. He's done things for people. He would like for someone to recognize that. That's so childish to me, but that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. It's possible that some of you have a mother and father that never hear from you. When I was 42, God told me to call my mother and father every single day until the day they died. Then God spoke to me to give them a check every single month that they could spend the way they wanted to. My mother and father. Today, I'd like to emphasize this a little bit. I'm very direct with my request. I'm also direct with what I don't agree with. I'm very confrontational about error and especially deception. When I sense that someone's lying, I have something in me. I call it the 7/8 Irish and the 1/8 Cherokee Indian. I call that that. I don't know if that's true. It may just be some humanity I need deliverance from. Valerie, I'm so thankful for you and Bill. Felicia, it thrills me that you pray every day for me and Christina. I value that. Pastor Ken, I love those words, Pastor. We're here. You're here for us, and we're here for you, Dr. Murdock. We're your support system wherever we can be. I treasure that. Becky McCoy, isn't that the truth about memories of home? Lewis, I'm ecstatic that Mayor Harold Moore would fly all the way from Georgia just to have some moments with me. And he was unforgettable, believe me. Totally unforgettable. Stay with me for a few minutes if you can. You become what you admire. Admiration is the golden door to inspiration. Don't hesitate to speak up your admiration of your mother and father to their face. Don't stop from doing it. I would say this to you who have children. Don't hesitate to celebrate the difference in your children. Don't hesitate to celebrate the goodness in one of your children. Don't be afraid that you're going to show too much love for your children. Every one of us, I hate to say this, but I'm so much into truth, Admiration is a glorious seed of encouragement. Don't hesitate to show admiration for the church that your pastor has built. Don't hesitate to go up to your pastor after he preaches and say, Pastor, I will never, never forget what you said today. It's life-changing. Next Sunday, go up to him and say, Pastor, I've never heard what you said today. You can think of different ways. I want to urge you with all of my heart to speak swiftly, often, regularly about things you admire in someone. I told my son's girlfriend some months ago, I said, he doesn't have a lazy bone in him. And I told her, I said, I went to his apartment one time, and I've never seen better decor. He had thought of everything, and she looked stunned. I says, I don't know if he's able to do it now. I've got him a place now that I provide for him, a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful third floor condominium that I provide for my son. But I said, he really loves everything in order. He doesn't like anything out of place. He's adopted, but you would think he's my blood through his desire to keep everything in place. Don't hold back your admiration. The manager of my ministry is a lady named Rosa. She's got 5 sons. There's never been a moment that I felt uncomfortable with her. She's been with me about 17 years. She manages the Wisdom Center Ministry. She's Always cheerful. Always. She has a giggle that's so memorable. I couldn't tell you one time I felt danger around her. I couldn't tell you one time in my life that I didn't enjoy her presence. She's gone through heartaches. She's got 5 sons, and she's unusual. Just shy. When I went to choose the management, after our manager left, there was not one doubt she was the voice I wanted to represent me. She's a tither. She's a giver. Stay with me for a moment. Who are the goodness circle? Who's in the goodness circle in your life? Who's in the mercy circle? Who's in the mercy circle? Who would be the people in the emergency room when you had to go? Not who would be there, but who would you feel comfortable in calling and saying, I really need you? At 2 o'clock in the morning. Who would you feel at ease? I call my wife, Christina, my healer. My healer. Sometimes I call her my rescuer. She's 44. Gorgeous. Most perfect looking woman you've ever seen in your lifetime. And doesn't have an ounce of arrogance. Confidence, self-confidence, tremendously so. No arrogance. Who's the circle? Who's in the love circle? Who's in your investment? Who are the people? I was looking this morning at some of you who had sent me a seed to Cash App and PayPal. Lynn, I don't know if you're watching, but I saw it. I study your names in my personal Cash App. The team does that. But in my personal Cash App, my personal PayPal, I stare at your name. You have no idea the thoughts that overwhelm me. That at 77 years old, you're still sewing. You're holding up my hands. I'm going toward 80 years old, and you're holding up my hands to still teach the gospel. Do you have any idea of my feelings I have about that? I need to teach you a few wisdom keys here. Never linger where you're not admired. Never linger where you're not admired. How do you discern character in other people? Number one, the voice they trust, the heroes they talk about, whose counsel they pursue. You must discern the character of people around you. The character. They may smile beautifully. They may throw you a kiss, but you must know their character. Who are they when you're not there? Who are they in your absence? What investment do they make in you with their words, their presence, even their gifts? Study the character of people around you. I don't care how much you love them, you must know their character. I don't care how much you treasure them. David loved Absalom with everything that he had, and Absalom was the killer the assassin of his life. Nobody hated David like the son he loved the most. It's not enough to know you love somebody who loves you. It's not enough to love your daughter. Does she really love you? It's not enough to love your son. It's not enough. Does he really love you? Dr. Jolynn Whitaker wrote a fabulous article on me in Twitter. I think it was yesterday or this morning. It's her birthday. Quite a woman. Quite a woman. Like nobody you've ever met. And her husband too. He just glows with kindness. If you ever meet her husband, he's unlike anybody you've met. Just kindness. He is so proud of Dr. Jolynn Whitaker, his wife. He is so proud of her. It just glows. I love to see a man proud of his wife, and he really is. Stay here with me a moment. It's not enough to love somebody. It's not enough to enjoy them. You must know who they are. Who are they towards you? I talked to my brother about cremation. He was planning on a casket and a funeral, and I talked to him last night. I said, brother, you don't want to be thinking about who's going to be talking at your funeral, what they're going to say. Let me tell you something. I was watching a famous preacher that I love very, very much. He had more honor toward me than anybody in my lifetime. He was a fabulous man. And I watched his funeral. And you know what they said at his funeral over and over? Now, wasn't a perfect man. He had his faults. He had his flaws. And I sat there and watched them say that. Famous people say that. And I thought, of all he's done for God, why on earth would y'all make statements like that at his funeral? I don't want a funeral. I want cremation. I want to be cremated. I don't want to have to worry about what would that person say at my funeral. I don't want to have to worry about that. Sounds crazy, don't it? A funeral should be a celebration of goodness. And many times it's not. I don't want that at my funeral. I'm saying this carefully. If you get any opportunity this year, got 6 weeks left or so. What's today? Friday, Favor Friday, November the 17th. 1770. A friend loveth at all times. I connect numbers constantly with scriptures. Oh, Mayor Harold Moore just wrote me. I got to quote you. I'm sorry. Mayor Moore, Dr. Mike, I'd fly there again for 5 minutes with the wisdom apostle. Honor you, sir. Mayor, you've got something so rare, son. He's 48 years old. He's got something so rare. If you knew how bad I felt last night, I thought, I forgot to ask him about his wife and his children. I forgot to ask him. I had a lot of questions I wanted to ask you. And I was so impacted by your presence, by your countenance, I couldn't get my mind off of it. That's all I can think about is your countenance. I can't get my mind about it, off of it. There's such goodness in you. There's such goodness in you. I want to say this and emphasize this if I could to everybody. Please, please, please express your admiration of anyone that you care about. Let them see it. Let them hear it. And they can't hear it too much. They can't hear it too much. I didn't do enough for my mother and father. I did as much as I thought I could, but you can't, you cannot pour out too much goodness to other people. You can't do it. Joyce, Pastor Ken, thank you for praying for my brother. He's pure gold. Pure gold. He sent me a beautiful seed yesterday, my brother, my blood brother, my older brother. And I told him what I could do with that seed. I said, brother, you just paid for thousands of books that I could send out, etc. Felicia Young says, I think that is part of the nature of God. I do too, Felicia. He wants recognition from us daily. We're made in his image. His heartbeat of sensitivity, of need for recognition is in us. Felicia, I think so. I need to remember that more. Thank you. Thank you for pushing that thought over to me. Oh, I love that. ADAOBI, Sandra Leoma, I think it is, Lioma, said, you've been a blessing to me over the years. In 2016, I learned what marriage truly means again from your message. I love you, Papa. Karen, hugs from South Texas, McAllen. Oh, wow. I haven't preached in McAllen in many, many years. Danielle Willoughby, I haven't seen you here, Danielle. What a joy to see you here again. Danielle, I used to lay my hand on your picture. You were standing outside your car on Twitter. You were standing outside your car, and I'd lay my hand on you and ask God to double your wisdom and give you insight and favor. Pastor Ken Loring says, I've never forgotten your words of emptying every love word out before you lay your head on your pillow at night. So powerful. Oh, I remember when I remember when that overwhelmed me. It had to do with my baby brother. And the Lord spoke to me that before I died, to pour out every love word I could to my family. Pamela Pettit, Virginia. Don't, how do I say this? Avoid, that's the right word. Avoid an obsession with adversaries. At all costs, avoid an obsession. That's hard. I drove up to the Wisdom Center, had a gang of people screaming through megaphones, I'm going to hell. Mike Brock's going to hell. I looked, Stephen Strang, the editor of Charisma magazine, called me one day. He said, somebody, Brother Mike, with a lot of money hates you. He said, headline articles are never over 5,000 words when they want to destroy somebody. When a newspaper wants to destroy somebody, they never go over 5,000 words. That's the key thing. He said the first article from the big newspapers, 15,000 words to try to destroy you. I want to say this. It's hard to ignore an enemy. It's hard. But if you can go back to the good people, there's 4 or 5 people around you that will never turn on you. They will never destroy you. They will never say anything bad about you, never. There's 4 or 5 people, and that's where you focus. I say that at 77 years old. I got the fighter in me. I've got the warrior in me. I won't deny that. I can't hardly ignore an enemy. But if you can stay focused on the good people, there's a goodness circle. Daniel Tyler, Dr. Dan Tyler, whose seminary gave me my beautiful doctorate, Dr. Mike Murdock. He's a fabulous man. He's a chief chaplain for the FBI. When I was started going through a real trial, he called me and he says, I have a night every week that I gather with 5 to 7 families. Nobody, they're families that fit together. They enjoy being together. They love each other. And he says, I don't ask them for anything. But once every Thursday night they met. And he said, it's changed my life. Regularity to be with good people. And some people don't belong together. I just want to say that again because I never knew that till the last few months. I never knew that till the last few months. Some people feel inferior with other people. Some people know something that other people have said. They know something, and so they're very quiet in their presence. But there will be 5 or 6 or 8 people who fit together. None of them are against each other. And the difference is profound. The difference in good people together is profound. Judas changes the supper. When there's one person at the table that's not straight, it changes everything. Judas doesn't heal in the presence of Jesus. There are some people that stay bad in your presence, and you don't know why. You just don't know why. There's some people that you cannot do enough for. Don't let them at the supper table. Don't think there's just some people you can't affect. You can't impact them. Judas has supper after supper after supper with Jesus, and then had him crucified, sold him for 30 pieces of silver. Zacchaeus has one meal with Jesus and leaves and says, I'm going to pay back every person I've done wrong. Paul has an interesting statement. He says, you decide what comes out of me. You decide what comes out of me. You decide what I say. I don't think at 77 years old like I did when I was 50 and 45 and 55. I'm a different man, totally a different man. I learned something today that I was shocked. I was completely shocked and stunned at. Don't try to be the same to everybody. There's people that unlock a joy in you, and there's other people that unlock a fear in you, and you don't know what it is. I know who He is. He's the Holy Spirit. Let me emphasize three things before this book is out of this world. Me and my father's pictures. I got a whole bunch of pictures in this book. That's how it looks. 196 wisdom keys. Your mind requires three things. This is topic 168 here, the law of the mind. Your mind requires conversation, a hero, and a project, a focus. Isn't that powerful? Your mind requires three things: conversation, a hero, and a focus or project. Don't plan a relationship without including their flaws. That's a flaw is part of the equation. Caring decides what you discern, what you see, what you change, what you protect, and what you say when you care. When you care. Delilah was not Samson's greatest mistake. Rejecting his father's counsel was his greatest mistake. Rebellion is an act of fools. Samson had an anointing, but he had a rebellion. And his father said, son, don't go around the women down there. Says they're evil, son. They're very influential. Son, don't get around bad women. Solomon was obsessed with bad women. If you ever read the book of Proverbs, I do it constantly. Delilah was not Samson's biggest mistake. Blocking a father's advice was his biggest mistake. I don't know if we have any of these books left, but I'm trying to teach on the book day by day, and I believe today is day 321. So that's why I want to teach from this book. Exit any environment that cannot be inspired by you. Exit any environment that you don't inspire. There's people that I just don't inspire. Will you try to stay away from that? Oh, these are. What's the most important thing in life? What's the greatest thing you can learn while you're on the earth? How to receive. The greatest thing for you to learn is how to receive. Someone's difference, someone's need, someone's goodness, someone's caution. Proverbs 1:5. A wise man will listen. A wise man hears. Who's a wise man? A wise man's a receiver of caution, a receiver of warnings, a receiver of greatness, goodness, the receiver of difference. You thought it was giving. No, you have nothing to give until you've mastered receiving. I had a horrible experience this morning here in my library. I won't go into detail about it, but I had to have a man come through the window to assist me. Love the goodness you see in others. Love it, cherish it, protect it, value it. Thank you, James Smith. Cindy, thank you. Cindy, I've just never got back to my books. When you helped me on that book, we've had so much overflow. I haven't been able to get back to that project, just so you know. Thank you for wanting to help me on it. I need that. Earl Davis, I'm just tuning in. Please have a happy holiday. Spend your time with the people who matter. No in the Davis house. Oh, I love that. Nyla Clancy. Janet Holton. Thank you, Janet. I'm wanting to learn how to express admiration more. I'm wanting to learn how to express appreciation more. I'm really wanting to do that. Book 321. I hope Isaiah is watching today and he can see if I have any extra one of these. Bishop James Maynard said thank you for the gift of impartation yesterday. Pastor James, I really felt like you and Mayor Moore need to develop a lifetime friendship. I felt like both of you men personify kindness. Your gentleness is so rare. I hope y'all walk beside each other the rest of your life. I'll show y'all on the screen how to sew, and I'll get out of your hair. This is the book, Book 321, Wisdom Notes of Mike Murdock, Volume 8. Volume 8. Please, any seed that you plant, there's ways to sow. Cash App, PayPal, Zelle. I've just got another minute or so left here, so feel free to screenshot this. I cannot thank you enough today for supporting me. 844-789 seed. When you call the seed number, ask for Janice Green. She's a great intercessor in my life. 844-789 seed. The book number is a company that I've hired down the street to answer 24 hours a day. They're good people. Call 817-759-2665. Call the book number 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Several of you have wanted to text me a seed through your telephone, and for some reason, that impacts me. I value that. Go to the website. Most people love sewing through the website, wisdomcenterchurch.com. But Nate, Box 1925, Colleyville, Texas. I mailed out 4,000 books Monday to all of you. 4,000. A book that's very, very powerful for business people. And I mailed it out Monday to 4,000 of you. And I really hope you'll like the book. Tony McCrary is here. I cannot believe this, Tony. Tony has traveled many thousands of miles with me around the world. I haven't seen Tony in years and years. Tony McCrary. Tony, it means the world to see you here. I'm so glad to see you here, son. I hope you're okay. Last I heard, you were in Haiti, helping a lot of people know God. I'm so glad that you're here. Renee Poole. Renee, I loved your message to me. I went over it. I can't tell you enough. I went over it with my Christina. Australia, Canada, Indonesia. I'm very surprised that Nigeria is not here today. That's kind of shocking to me. Usually you're here. My niece is here. Yay. I'm so thankful. I got your beautiful seed, sis, or niecey. I'll call you niecey because she was the baby of my older sister. Beautiful, beautiful girl. Celise, I'm so glad you're here today. It means a lot to me. You saw how to sow. Thank you, family. I'll say goodbye to you. There is nobody like you. There's nobody like you. Sweet Holy Spirit, sweet Holy Spirit, there's nobody like you. We'll re-air this hourly till tomorrow. Tomorrow's Love Day. Thank you for being in my world. And thank you for every seed. And I decree the 100-fold return swiftly from every seed that you